Hello everyone, welcome back to another installment in the Versus series, where today we are looking at Collateral versus Red Eye, two psychological thrillers released very close to each other and distributed by DreamWorks. Now you're probably thinking, well, it's October. Shouldn't you be doing two horror movies, not two thrillers? Well, the thing about that is, I'm not old enough to watch any of the very classic horror movies. So I'm just gonna stick with two thrillers I really love. I haven't mentioned Collateral or Red Eye on this channel before, so this is gonna be a very interesting idea of what I think about both these movies. So, as per usual, you know the way this goes. So let's start off with the story. So what is the story of this movie? So Collateral and Red Eye have two very similar stories. So Collateral follows a cab driver in Los Angeles named Max, who gets a new customer named Vincent. There are flies all over the damn place. And at first Vincent just seems very fine. He's just a bit eccentric, not eccentric, just a bit weird. But then Max soon finds out that he's been taken hostage by Vincent, who turns out to be a hitman. So yeah, this is a very interesting idea for a movie, and it does it spectacularly. The story is incredibly well done and keeps you at the edge of your seat because you don't know who's gonna survive and who's gonna die, and you don't know who the targets are, and you don't know if they're gonna survive or die. Uh, the plot of Red Eye is very different. It follows a woman named Lisa who works at a hotel in Miami and is about to go on a red eye flight from Dallas to Miami. While getting on the plane, she meets a guy named Jackson, who seems also okay, and they hit it off at a restaurant before getting on the plane. I'm sorry, son of a. I'm sorry, I'm getting disrupted by a fucking fly. As I was saying, but then Lisa quickly finds out that she's also been taken hostage by Jackson, who reveals himself to be a terrorist working for a terrorist organization that's planning to kill the Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security, Charles Keefe, who's staying at Lisa's hotel that she works at. So yeah. These are very similar movies, except one is just two guys in a car, one trying to survive, and then the other killing people. And then Red Eye is just about, oh crap, we gotta stop this guy before he kills, the Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security, Charles Keefe, played by Jax Galia. Who the hell is that? I don't know. But anyways, so yeah, the plots of these films are very, very similar. But my decision of which one would be the better idea for the plot, I think it's. I think I have to go to point to Red Eye because even though I love the story in Collateral, it's brilliantly done. I just think that in Red Eye it's done a little bit better, because it's a lot more at risk and at tension, whereas in Collateral it's just two guys in a car, and yeah, there's they have to kill five people. Well, he has to kill five people, but like, it's not as intense as trying to save a man who was part of the American government. And plus, in Collateral, the people that Vincent is killing is just criminals, so it doesn't really help. So it doesn't really matter if they're dead or not. Except for a few because they're not criminals. But yeah, so that's a point to Red Eye. Next up is the characters. Which do you think wins? Like, honestly, which do you think wins this point? Like, the characters in Collateral are some of the best I've seen. Uh, Tom Cruise sinks into this role. It doesn't even feel like he's being Tom Cruise. Hell, he even dyed his hair, for the part. That's how you know he put effort into this. The funny thing is, Tom Cruise didn't even get a nomination for his role as Vincent. That's cool. I love it when good actors don't get awards. So yeah, the characters in this movie are very good, especially Vincent and Max. Uh and Max's character arc throughout the movie is very well done. He starts out as this very just content man who just doesn't care about anything. But then after he gets kidnapped, Vincent begins laying down some life lessons on him, and Vincent changes by the end, becoming a lot more confident and even uh shooting Vincent multiple times and killing him. Spoilers, by the way. Whereas in Red Eye, the characters are a bit more standard. Good guy and bad guy. Even though the performances by both are very well done, I'll have to give this point to Collateral because the characters just feel a lot more fleshed out and have a lot of arc throughout the movie. So that's a point to Collateral. And now we have the editing because that is the thing that was praised about Collateral. So I have to judge it by both movies because I am an ass. I'm just an ass. So the the editing. It's very well edited. I can safely say that this is an affectionate, well edited. These are, I don't know what I'm saying. These are well edited movies. There, I said it. So yeah. So which point does this go to? Collateral. Like both these movies are well edited, but I think this movie is better edited. It just looks, it feels more realistic. We'll get to the cinematography later on, but I feel like the editing in this movie just feels complete, whereas Rally just feels more like a standardly edited movie. Still very good editing, but just not anything spectacular. So I'm giving this point to Collateral. That's another point. And now we have the score. Ooh, this is a good one. So the soundtrack. Like, who do you think wins? Like, who do you think wins this award? I mean, like, who the hell is Marco Beltrami? I think his score is a very good. Uh, like it's a very good score, but like the score in Collateral is something else, man. I've never seen a score this haunting, this ethereal, this brilliant in any action film. This doesn't even feel like just an action movie. It feels more than just an action film. It feels like a complete character driven film that has just sudden bursts of violence, and it's kind of like Drive, where it's more as just burst of violence rather than actual action. So I'm giving another point to Collateral. I think you know who wins at this point, but I'm still gonna judge fairly and say about the cinematography. Now this is an interesting ditty. So if you've seen Collateral, you know that it's one of the first movies to be shot on digital. Not the first, as 28 Days Later came out before, and also starred Cillian Murphy, who was in Red Eye, so that's a nice way to turn it all around. But uh, it was shot on a digital camera, and back then it probably looked really good, and now it looks very realistic. Like it's not like a typical film camera. Like they actually move like if it was recorded on like a news broadcast, but like it looks very low quality. Like the way that the camera is used and how like it's shaky cam makes the movie look a lot lower budget than it is. This movie is a $65 million budget movie, which isn't that high of a budget. This movie had lower. This isn't that high of a budget. It's a mid budget movie, but but the camera and the way it's used and the type of camera it is leads you to believe that that was made on a lower budget, even though Michael Mann is already a well-established director. Whereas Red Eye was shot a lot more just normally. The camera was straight throughout most of it, and only when shaky when it needed to. And also, it was made on a lower budget, and yet looks higher budget. So I don't know how that works. But yeah, I'll have to give the point to Red Eye for cinematography because I felt when watching the film, I sort of felt like the cinematography was a little bit more, how do I put it, complete. It just felt not as this, and yeah. So I honestly believe that. Yep, you probably know which film wins. Collateral wins. I mean, like, was there really a doubt that Collateral won't win? I mean, Red Eye, it's a great movie. Don't get me wrong, but it feels very standard, and not and just like it's a very unique thriller in terms of what happens in it. But the soundtrack and the edit and the did I get the editing a better and the editing just feel less uh gritty than Collateral. Collateral is a very gritty film. It's a neo noir action thriller film. I mean, how much more neo noir can you get? So yeah. This Collateral is in my top 20 favorite movies of all time. And there's kind of a reason for that. It's because of the characters, the editing, the score. Literally, almost everything about this movie is done to perfection. I'm so annoyed that Cruise didn't get an award for this, and the editing didn't get an award, and the score didn't get an award. This movie didn't get any other awards. It didn't even get a Best Picture nomination because action films don't get Best Picture, even though Black Panther got nominated. So did uh, other movies that were action films. I really don't like the Academy Awards. I think we established that. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this less extensively versus series of episode. So stay tuned next month where we talk about two other no winter related films that are the same plot but from different countries. And it might get a little cold down in the southernmost continent, if you know what I'm saying. Goodbye.